Deep in the volcanic jungles of West Java, Indonesia, there's a hill. On the surface, it looks ordinary, unremarkable, just another mountain covered in stone. But in 1914, something changed. A geologist was surveying the region when he noticed something impossible. The stones weren't random. They were arranged, deliberately, in perfect geometric patterns. And that's when the real questions started. Archaeologists soon realized this wasn't a natural formation. This was built, intentionally built. But here's where the mystery deepens. Scientists carbon-dated the stone structures underneath the visible monument. The results contradicted everything we know about human civilization. 12,000 years old. Think about that number for a moment. That's 3,000 years older than the pyramids. That's 6,000 years before the cities of ancient Mesopotamia. That's before agriculture, before writing, before metal tools, before organized civilization itself, according to textbooks. Yet, someone built this with precision, with planning, with knowledge. The question became inescapable. How? When the Indonesian government announced these findings in 2012, the international archaeological community went quiet. Not silent, quiet. There's a difference. For years, prestigious universities ignored the evidence. Mainstream journals refused to publish the data. Leading institutions suddenly demanded more research before drawing conclusions. But here's what they weren't telling you. Independent geologists had already verified the findings. Radiocarbon analysis confirmed the dates multiple times. Seismic surveys showed massive stone structures buried beneath the modern surface, far larger than what's visible today. The evidence was real. So why the silence? The answer is simple and unsettling. Accepting these dates would shatter the established narrative of human development. Every history textbook would need rewriting. Every university curriculum would need updating. Every archaeological timeline would collapse. For institutions built on specific historical frameworks, admitting they were fundamentally wrong wasn't acceptable. So they didn't. Instead, a counter-narrative emerged. Some scientists claimed the dates were contaminated. Others suggested the structures were natural formations, coincidentally geometric. A few even argued that the geological data was misinterpreted. None of these claims held up under scrutiny, but they were repeated, amplified, institutionalized. What researchers found inside the hill was even more disturbing. Beneath the visible terraces lay 5 distinct layers of construction. Each layer showed advancement, each showed purpose, each showed sophisticated engineering. The foundation layer, the oldest, was the most precise. That doesn't make sense. Primitive builders with advanced engineering? That pattern suggested something else entirely. A civilization that started at its peak. Ground-penetrating radar revealed chambers inside the monument. Empty chambers. Deliberately sealed chambers. Chambers that should have been filled with artifacts, tools, pottery, inscriptions. But they weren't. It was as if someone, or some culture, deliberately removed the evidence of who they were. As if they wanted to be forgotten. Scientists working on site reported strange findings in their notebooks. The precision of the stonework rivals modern engineering. The alignment patterns match astronomical configurations we couldn't identify for another 10,000 years. There's no evidence of trial and error. It's as if they built it right the first time. These weren't vague observations. They were measurements, data, facts. Yet, when these findings were presented to mainstream academic conferences, the response was predictable. Dismissal, mockery, pseudoscience. One prestigious researcher actually said, and I quote, "This doesn't fit our model, therefore it can't be real." Not, "We need more evidence." Not, let's investigate further. It was intellectual cowardice dressed up as rigor. But here's the thing about evidence. It doesn't care about academic reputation. It doesn't care about university politics. And it definitely doesn't disappear because institutions refuse to acknowledge it. Every year, new discoveries are made at Gunung Padang. Every year, the monument reveals more secrets. And every year, mainstream science gets a little quieter about why they were wrong. Indonesian researchers refused to back down. They published independent studies. They invited international teams to verify their work. The data remained consistent. A 12,000-year-old monument, built with precision that shouldn't exist. Built by people who, according to our historical models, were still living in caves. The contradiction was impossible to ignore. Yet, it was being ignored. What's remarkable about Gunung Padang isn't just its age, it's the message it sends. Somewhere in human history, a sophisticated civilization existed that we know almost nothing about. A civilization advanced enough to build monumental structures with astronomical alignment. A civilization that, by all evidence, deliberately hid their identity and disappeared. Scientists have begun asking darker questions. Did this civilization vanish willingly? Was there a cataclysm we don't know about? Did subsequent civilizations try to erase the memory of their predecessors? And, most unsettling, how many other 12,000-year-old monuments are out there, waiting to be discovered, or officially acknowledged? The truth is simple and profound. Gunung Padang didn't just challenge our history, it challenged our institutions, our pride, our claim to understanding human development. And institutions, by nature, resist challenges. They circle the wagons. They demand more proof while ignoring existing proof. They protect their narrative over pursuing truth. But real science isn't about comfort. It's not about fitting convenient narratives. Real science is about evidence, data, following the truth wherever it leads. And the evidence at Gunung Padang is screaming. It's screaming that humanity is far older than we thought, that civilizations rose and fell before written history, that we were wrong and institutions refuse to accept it. Somewhere right now, another archaeologist is examining soil samples. Another researcher is analyzing radiocarbon data. Another team is using new technology to peer beneath the Earth's surface. And they're all going to discover the same thing. Humanity's past is not our past. It's just the part we've acknowledged. The real history is waiting, buried, hidden, refusing to be forgotten. So the question isn't, how old is Gunung Padang? The real question is, what else are we refusing to see? And that, perhaps, is the most terrifying mystery of all.